once upon a time I saw you were on an airport. I mean, you were airplane.
Yeah.
I think you had to get off that flight. I'm not sure. What do you talk about? What was up with that situation there? Was there anything going on with that situation?
So, like we've all had, you go out with your boys, you're in Miami, you have a good time. There's only a certain.
I should have got kicked off one.
Yeah. There's only a certain amount of flights. Only a certain amount of time that I could have gone home to see my son. There's only one flight that has the lay down flat. It's 9 a.m. So we go out in Miami on a Saturday night. This is Sunday morning. So I'm going straight to the airport. You know what I mean? Like I'm going straight to sleep on my flight. Thank you so much. Have a lovely service. I don't want any filet or whatever y'all are offering. I'm good. Like I look through the movies. And when you board first, and I boarded first on this flight because I was like, I just want to sit down. Mm-hmm. So I boarded first. Not only did I board first, it was delayed by 45 minutes. So I'm fighting the sleep that I'm ready to go to bed. There's a reason that I took this flight so I can go to bed, lay down, done this a million times. So I end up laying down. I kind of like put my seat back, but I didn't put it down all the way because I know that they get like this and it's like, oh, you got to put your seat up for takeoff or no, like, bro, I'm going to bed. Not to be like that, but if this thing goes down, this 45 degrees is not helping me. I'm sorry.
I always feel like why is that such a big deal?
Do you put your phone on airplane mode?
No.
Okay.
Like what?
I've never heard that.
What is that? I think it's a myth. Anyways.
I think it's
long story short, I fall asleep. I'm like, I'm tired. I don't want any food. There's no movie on here that I want to watch. I was trying to like watch something or I could stay up so we could take off so I could, put my seat back. So I was woken up to tell me that I couldn't wake up. That's how it went. And basically like the people who are working the crew or the airline, like they get to choose whether you stay on that flight or not. And I don't know what it was. It just, he woke me up. There's someone standing over me like this. I'm like terrified. There's cops all around me. I'm thinking we've landed in LA already or wherever I was flying to, LA or Arizona. I'm thinking we landed. Like what happened? What went on? I'm like, oh God, like this is like something out of a nightmare. And they're like, sir, you were unresponsive. Like you were refusing to put on your seatbelt. I'm like, so someone who's unresponsive, how could you refuse to put on a seatbelt? Like which one is it? Like I just need for y'all to like clarify, was I unresponsive and you were concerned for my medical, or was I being a jackass who refused to put on his seatbelt? You know what I'm saying? You know how it is.
This makes a lot of sense.
You know how you are when you sleepy. Like, bro, I don't like to be bothered. Like, don't wake me up. Like,
this makes a lot of sense.
The same way that everyone else paid for this seat, like I paid for my seat too.
They never touch you, huh?
Nah, he's like they're tapping you. I don't like to be waking up like that, bro. Yeah. Like I'm not the most. Yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? So long story short, I'm asleep. Like I'm asleep. Like I had already been asleep for an hour now. You know what I mean? Like that's at least 45 minutes I've been asleep for. I might have just been touching rim. Like, I'm asleep.
I actually tried to do something similar to that in Miami and missed. I just missed my flight. I was like,
you know what I'm saying?
You're going to go out and you're going to get your sleep on the plane. Yeah. So you really dead sleep. You out of there.
Yeah, you sleep. I'm going to wake up in LA. Thank you. Start my day, whatever it was. Boom. So they were basically just like, I'm fine. The officer was like, he's fine. He's responding. Like, I don't know what y'all want me to do. And the people in the back are like, no, he has to get off the flight. Like, is the baby awake yet? You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, like, I'm like, it was a personal thing for whatever reason that went on. Like, I don't bother nobody. Think about this. We talk about me being an A, B list, whatever it is. The last thing I would want to do in a public airport is draw any more attention to me. I walk through with a hoodie, my hat low. Like, I just want to get on my flight, be unbothered, go home. That's what I want to do. Instead of spending $40,000 to get from Miami to LA. Like, God forbid, like I want to just hop on a flight, not be bothered by anybody. The last thing I would want to do is be seen and cause a scene. So it basically came down to like, no, you have to get off this flight. And I'm like, can you explain why I'm being removed from this flight? And it's like, oh, well, you were unresponsive and they're concerned for your medical. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm fine now. We're sitting here having a full-on conversation. Like, there's no slurring of the words. There's no nothing. Like, the officers were like, he's fine. Like, he's fine to fly. It's your call. And they were like, nah, we don't want him on our flight. Oh, no, we don't feel safe with him on our flight. Like, whatever it was. Like, bro, I'm a grown man. Like, I can go to bed. I know for sure if this was somebody else maybe in this seat, like he probably would.
Marlon, you would have been good, right?
Probably wouldn't have said nothing. The glasses, they would have been like, "Oh, he's good." But you know what I mean? Like
Ought to put on
whatever it was.
Alabama voice.
So
I'm fine.
this is the part that like I've tried, officer. I'm completely fine.
You broke out a new voice.
I broke. Hey, listen, I know how to do it, but it was just like
I think I remember seeing the lady like she just wanted you out.
She wanted me off the flight.
I ain't
She
gonna
had
lie.
an attitude, like she had an agenda, and it is what it is. So my biggest problem was I was like, respective to everyone else who's on this flight, the same way y'all have shit to do, I have shit to do too. Like this is the only day that I get to see my son before having to go to camp here. Like this is I'm flying all the way across the country just to see him. This is the only flight. Couldn't even take another flight to get in and make it in. Like it just was all bad. But basically they were like, yeah, if you don't get off this flight, you're gonna have to give up your seat and miss this flight, then everyone's gonna have to get, and I'm like, can you provide me? I'm basically was like, can you provide me a reason as to why? Couldn't provide me any reason. If you're gonna have to get off this flight, everyone's gonna have to get off this flight. And that to me, like, once you started like giving me ultimatum and trying to like, this is the part that I do regret in a sense of like, I never would wanna interrupt everybody else's day, but I feel like I'm a part of this as well. And like, I had shit to do too. You know what I'm saying? Like I truly had shit to do too. This is I picked this flight for a specific reason. Like I have a certain intent and set plans as to why I want to get here. And it just was like, yeah, if you don't get off, everyone's gonna have to unboard the flight and yada. I said, well, listen, brother, then it is what it is at this point, because now you've like pissed me off. You know what I mean? Like this is where my ego came into play, and I could sit back.
I would have done the
I
same
think that's
thing.
human.
You know what I mean? Like this, I felt away at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Question I got for both of y'all. I see these videos of people like about to get in a parking spot, and someone come and like will stand there and like hold the parking spot for somebody.
Yeah.
If you were in that situation, what would you do?
It's like the last parking spot in the...
That's
That's probably why they're doing it, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And I had been on the plane already. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That reminds me of... I ain't gonna cap. Whatever plans I got,
You're running them over?
I'm ruining
Hold
them
on.
plans. 'Cause I'm not, there's no... I would be there. We gonna be there in 5 hours.
Let me tell you what really set the whole thing off. This is what set the whole thing off. There was an older white gentleman behind me and an older white gentleman in front of me. And I was on some shit, like I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, I can't believe this is happening to me. Like, I literally wouldn't bother a soul when I'm in the airport. And I like look back at the person and basically like with some empathy, like, are they for real? Like, is this really going on to me? And this motherfucker was like, excuse me, this dude was like, just get off the plane.
Bro, there's no way I'm getting off that plane. Everybody getting off with me.
So I completely ignored him. Like this one is like, God, please be with me right now. Don't let me lose my cool, my patience. And I look forward and this other older white gentleman in front of me, he's like, just get off. He's like, he wanted to say something else. He's like, you're just ignorant, like just stupid. And that to me, it was over with.
Yeah.
I look at Buddy, I said, yeah, everybody's gonna have to get off the plane. And that was when
Did
you see
everyone
me,
get off?
everyone had to get off the plane.
Okay.
And you were the last one to get off.
I was the last one to get off. I'm leaving. Everyone's like, oh, I'm like, I wanted
care.
to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like it took everything in me to just keep it chill and try and be respectful. But like, it was the fact that I was about to get off and this motherfucker was like, I keep forgetting. He was just like, get off the plane, like with some attitude as if I owed him something like I'm doing.
So what did you end up doing after?
I had to get a whole new flight.
mine.
But you weren't going back to LA though, right?
Went back to the condo, had to take a flight that was at like 10:39 out of Fort Lauderdale. End up getting in hella late, get to see my son for 2 hours, getting back on a flight. And like, you know what I'm saying? It just was...
Oh, dang, you really...
It
wow,
was
that really messed you
like
up.
a specific flight that I needed to be on. And then, you know, everyone sees the scene of like, I'm cussing out the people. I was talking to one fat person who was talking shit to me. And I was basically being like, by the time you land in LA, like I could go and get on a private plane in 2 hours and be there to pick you up. Like like once you push me and you like jab at me, like bro, it's just up. Like I can't help it. I feel like that's a human instinct. I felt attacked.
Money.
Yeah, I felt attacked. Like it just
the main
was,
thing?
you know, it wasn't like I would never sit there and talk to people I don't know again. Why would I want to draw more attention to myself when I'm already trying to be low?